Hello, Dr. Coker here, and this is a guide to Blessed Crucible on Veteran difficulty from the Elder Scrolls Online. This is a Nord-themed arena-style dungeon with a few interesting fights. It's a base game dungeon, so it isn't too difficult, but it's still good to know what you're getting into. Inside the gates, after clearing the trash, you will encounter the first boss, Grunt the Clever. You have to actually speak to him to begin the fight, and this is best left to the tank. Immediately, the tank should face him away from the group because he does heavy frontal conal attacks. They hit pretty hard, so when he does them, the tank should simply roll through the boss or to the side to avoid it. Lower level tanks may not survive if they simply block it. He also does a fear attack where you will see him scream and then all players are stunned with fear, but you can simply break free to end it. Shortly after the giant, you will find yourself in an arena where you will fight off a few waves of enemies. When you hear the announcer say, "Congratulations, you've passed the first trial," you will then face the second boss encounter, 4 werewolves known as the Pack. The tank will want to group them together. 2 are ranged and 2 are melee, so this is easiest if the tank stands by one ranged and chains in the other, assuming they hold taunt on the melee bosses. Since you're fighting 4 bosses at once, a lot will be happening, but you really only need to watch for a few things. One of the melee bosses does an AoE whirl attack that the tank needs to block and everyone else needs to roll out of. This is often simultaneous with a heavy attack from another boss. The hardest thing about this encounter is probably the fact that heavy attacks happen often from different bosses. The tank should basically just be watching for and blocking them the whole fight. The mage Dynus will often channel damage to the tank, which needs to be interrupted. The other mage will cast lines of flame on the floor that should be avoided. All the bosses turn to werewolves at low health and will do pounces and heavy attacks that the tank will need to block. Melee damage in this fight is a bit high, so it's important for the tank to maintain aggro. A little further in, you'll encounter the third boss, Teranya the Faceless. She's very straightforward. She has a whirlwind attack that the tank needs to block and other players should roll out of. She also has heavy attacks the tank will need to block. That's about it. After Teranya, you will enter an outdoor area with an army of weaklings. Just mow them down. And then you'll face the fourth encounter, the Beastmaster. You don't actually fight her. At the start, you should wait by the left gate. She talks a lot, then releases incineration beetles. The tank needs to hold them as a tight group as much as possible. They will do a lot of fire damage, and this fight can be healing intensive. Once the beetles are down, run to the right gate and the Beastmaster will present you with Stinger. Stinger is pretty easy. The tank should face him away from the group and block all the heavy attacks. He also does some AoE poison attacks, but they aren't that bad. Just move away when he sticks his stinger in the ground. After this, the Beastmaster will stand in the middle and the tank should wait next to her. Other players should wait at the bottom of the hill. A massive troll will break through the gate and kill her, and this is the last beast for this encounter. He's actually not that bad. The tank should face him away from the group, and everyone else should stay close on his backside. He sometimes pounds the ground, and for this, the tank should step aside. He also does a large circular AoE attack everyone should roll out of, but it's pretty quick. Shortly after the Beastmaster, you'll find the fifth boss, Captain Thoran. He's surrounded by ads, and this fight can be a bit annoying for newer groups. Destroy all the ads first to simplify the fight a bit. There will be fire and purple smoke all over the place, and you have to constantly stay out of it. He also spawns flame Atronachs that tether to him, and he will be immune to all damage until they are killed. Annoyingly, he does this several seconds after you kill each Atronach. Also, if you take too long to kill the Atronach, he may spawn a second or even a third one, all of which will channel this immunity effect to him. Just take them down so you can burn the boss. After the captain, you'll face the final boss, the Lava Queen. This fight is filled with lava bursts and fire AoE and other flaming effects to avoid, but that's not the worst of it. There are 2 things that are really important to know in this fight. The first is that, just like the captain, she will also spawn flame Atronachs that make her immune to all damage. Take them out as a top priority. The second is to know how to handle her signature move that wipes a lot of groups. She will shout and pound the ground and lines of flame will come out from the center going all over the place. What you should do is walk backwards a bit so you can understand the pattern and move accordingly. If you stay up close during this attack, you won't be able to react in time and you will likely die, as the damage is extremely high even for tanks above 1000 CP. Just walk backwards and sidestep the lines of flame as they pass, then return to her when it's done. Other than that, she does have heavy attacks the tank will need to block. If you activate hard mode, no new mechanics are added. The boss simply has more health and deals more damage. And that's it for Veteran Blessed Crucible. Good luck and have fun. See you next time.